The Little Mermaid, considered to be one of the greatest stories ever told. Well, depending on who you are. Maybe you don't think it is, but whatever. I don't care. It was written by Hans Christian Andersen, who's a very interesting author. I recommend you guys looking into him. He wrote some really great stuff, including The Little Mermaid, which would become a staple of Danish culture. So much, in fact, they're like, hey, let's build a statue to it. In Copenhagen. You're looking at it right now. This statue's iconic. So iconic that people will vandalize it all the time. Don't ask me why or how they even get to it, because it's not that far away. It is in the middle of water, on top of a rock. But it is neat. And the story itself is kind of sad. It's about love and the dangers of puppy love, if you will. About someone who wants love, but ends up sacrificing everything to get it. And in the end, realizing it was not worth it in the end. And dies and turns to sea foam. It's sad. It's been interpreted many times since Hans Christian Andersen stories actually have a lot of interpretation to them. He was a political guy. He wrote a lot of stuff based on his real life, especially this one, which is based off his love life and how it failed. It may or may not be a innuendo for him feeling sexual frustration since he identifies with a female character who wants to be a male character. But anyway, who don't really cares about that stuff? It starts with these guys. Remember these guys? Yeah, they did The Great Mouse Detective. Now, one of them, Ryan Clements, came up with the idea of, what if we readapt fairy tales? Because this Hans Christian Andersen guy, he wrote this great story called The Little Mermaid. I think it would make a great Disney animated film, especially like the olden days. What do you think, Michael Eisner?
No, we can't do that because we're making another mermaid movie.
Splash 2. You know that movie, Splash 2? Get out character here, what the fuck is Splash 2? I didn't know they made a sequel to Splash. It looks like it has nothing to do with the original movie. So yeah, they're making there's a mermaid movie that Splash, Tom Hanks. It was really well beloved. It made the name Madison skyrocket in popularity. Don't know why. But believe it or not, Jeffrey Katzenberg actually thought the idea was not bad. He actually greenlit the project, so he actually did do something bad for once in his life. Good job, Katzenberg. I'm sure you'll fuck it up somehow later in this video. The project kept getting delayed and delayed, but did gain a new writer. While Musker and Clements were hard at work writing it, they had the songwriter, Howard Ashman, to help join the project, to write songs. But he actually got more involved with the project than writing songs. He actually helped with the story process as well. In fact, the song and the writing process are actually combined into one, like a modern Broadway production, which is actually what the idea was going for. He's like, see this crab guy? He's a British butler. That's boring. Well, we make him Jamaican. That's where it's at. And they ended up liking the guy. He also joined Alan Menken, who would also join this project. Also, Alan Menken would be so good that he and Ashman would begin to work on other Disney films. Unfortunately, Ashman would work on that many due to unfortunate circumstances. But Alan Menken would work on so many Disney animated movies after this one. It's insane. Look at his filmography. He worked on so many, you'll do something. Alan Menken had worked with Howard Ashman on multiple project productions, most notably Little Shop of Horrors, and both of them were great songwriters, like really good, and they would be heavily involved with the songwriting process of Little Mermaid, as well as, like I said, story production. Without them, this movie would not be half as good as it is. But this is a stepping stone, the rest of the film would fall into place based off this great direction. This film uses a lot of live action references, which haven't been done in a while, and it helps the animation process. The humans in this movie look much better than previous Disney films, and the fluidity is great. The animation is pretty top-notch in this film. I love it a lot. Here's a fun fact. Apparently, every bubble you see in the movie was outsourced to China and Animate, because I guess they didn't want to animate them. Who cares? Who knows? I like bubbles. Another fun fact is that part of the animation was done in the Orlando Animation Studio, one of the first Disney films to be animated there. Not entirely, though, just part of it. At Hollywood Studios, for some reason they wanted, like, hey, let's have an animation studio here so the guests can see the animators working. It was kind of weird, but a lot of anime movies apparently were made this way. So, yeah, that's a thing. It's kind of weird having someone look at you at a theme park while you're animating, but oh well. While the film is a lot of firsts, it's also one of the last. The last being the last one to be originally cel-painted. Up until now, animators were painting on the back of cells in order to color them, but a new system called CAPS allows them to do that all on the computer and a lot faster. So Little Mermaid's the last one to be animated traditionally, so that's a fun fact for you. Don't expect to get your hands on a cell, though, because cells from Disney do not go out of the vault very often. You know that Disney owns pretty much most of its cells still in their vault? It's kind of cool, actually. I love to get to just see these in person. They look so cool. I know they're cracking, but, they're really old, so it makes sense. When the film released in 1989, it was an immediate success, critical darling, and everybody loved it, including me. I love this film. The music was so good that it was nominated for 2 Oscars and won 2 of them. I think more than that, but they won Best Original Song for Under the Sea and Best Score, both Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. Well deserved because this soundtrack still kicks ass to this day. There's a reason why this film started the Disney Renaissance, because it is a good one. The animation's great, the characters are great, the music is phenomenal, the villain is outstandingly good. It is a modern-day Disney classic. Well, not modern-day, because it's like 30 years old, but still, you know what I mean. So how did they reinvent the wheel here with The Little Mermaid, and why is the Renaissance considered so good, even to this day? Well, for one thing, the story's good, even though it does change the fairy tale quite a bit. The Little Mermaid doesn't die in this one, or have her tongue ripped out. I mean, I guess that's a little dark for Disney, but you know. Despite it being quote-unquote Disney-fied, it still feels like a great film if you didn't know that it changed some of the fairy tale elements. One of the biggest reasons why this film is so good compared to other Disney films is that it focuses way more on developing its characters rather than just having them be background elements. Take a look at our last Disney princess, Aurora, technically speaking officially. Well, there's more in between, but I'll get to that later in the video, actually, for a little twist surprise. Aurora sucks. She doesn't do anything. She's just there to be, I guess, conventionally pretty, even though she's not really that. She's so bland and generic that you forget about her. And this kind of applies to some of the other characters. Not a whole lot of development, mostly the side characters are bringing them along. Little Mermaid does not work that way. While the side characters are great, it's all about our main character. Ariel's the exact opposite. She's pretty much better than Aurora in every single way. I didn't mean to throw shade at Aurora like that, it's the first one that came to my mind. She's actually allowed to be funny, has a lot of personality, so yeah, I like her a lot. I mean, she's so cool, she saved the princess life 3 times. Like, come on, you gotta give her points for that. And she collects stuff. Maybe I can relate to that. Yeah, I collect stuff, like Little Mermaid stuff. Well, these aren't mine, but I technically bought some of them from my fiance. Look at this Sebastian. Bubble wands, anybody? It doesn't have bubbles in it anymore. We got this at Disney World, my fiance and me. I got Buzz Lightyear one, she got her Ariel. So yeah, I really like Ariel a lot, and she's also super hot, so that's a bonus. I have a thing for redheads, okay? I would not hesitate to kiss that girl. That's all I'm going to say. But Ariel isn't the only good thing about this movie. There's also Sebastian, the crab, who is Jamaican, and that just makes him even better. If I did a tier ranking for side characters or sidekicks, Sebastian would probably be at the top of the list. He's a great singer, and he's hilarious.
You gotta buckle up your lips like this.
He also goes through the most shit, almost getting killed and eaten like 20 times in this movie. Poor Sebastian. Also, what the fuck's up with his random French chef? Like, why is he so fucking weird as fuck? Look at his face. Even at the end of the movie, he's still psycho as hell. Like, geez, who invited this guy on the wedding list? Also, the second wedding was the priest with the boner invited there. I know it's technically his knees. You can see that in an additional shot, but it's funny that he looks like he's getting a fucking erection here. The priest is getting a boner. That's not the only dick. Take a look at this golden penis in the middle of the original VHS cover. Classic. I don't know how that happened. I think I saw a thing about it. Like, oh, I guess that happened. Oops. Speaking of dicks, King Triton, Ariel's dad, is kind of a dick as well. I mean, this guy destroys all our crap. That's not nice. I don't want him destroying my stuff either. Actually, he's actually a pretty complex character. He learns, he has complex animation to showcase his mood swings. He just has anger issues, alright? He's not a bad dude. I think. I don't know. Also, for some reason, when he hears that Ariel's in love, he gets actually excited for some reason. Like, what the fuck? This guy's overprotective, but he's like, wow, it's a mermaid, I'm happy for her. She's getting her fins, whatever, they don't get their fins done, anything like that, they just lay eggs. That must have been a really awkward moment during bedtime, I'm sure. Oh, and then there's the Prince Eric guy. He's okay, he's nothing special. He's voiced by Spider-Man, the one who screams a lot, but he doesn't scream that well. Like, on his ship, he's like, look out! It's like, you couldn't do a better scream than that? I guess his screaming is just too loud. Have you heard his Spider-Man scream? So this guy's 2 most famous roles are sipping over redheads. I do that for free. There's one last character I haven't talked about yet. The villain, who has this scary-ass weird army of weird mermaid dead plant things that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I didn't get far in this movie when I was like 5. I got scared. I'm a little pussy. I peed my pants when I saw this thing. This is Ursula, and I was a very scared child. I'm still scared of my own shadow, to be honest. Now that I'm an adult, I can appreciate that Ursula is a great villain. And look at this design. I mean, who came up with this? Well, the animators of Disney did. She just flat out tells Ariel that I'm evil, but, you know, I'm gonna help you out anyway, so you got no other choice, bitch. She even shakes her ass in her face just to showcase how much power she has over her. What a power move. This sequence here is so great. Throwing that tongue into the fire. I'd be scared too if the person made this face at me. Jeez Louise, that's scary. I like this part where she makes Prince Eric here just to become him as a fucking bitch move. That's so good. I love that so much. I'm glad whoever came up with that got into the actual final version of this. This sequence is so good. I love it so much. It starts off slow and gets progressively faster. It's so great. It's so amazing. This movie's so good. And she calls Ariel a tramp. Like, what the fuck? I didn't think you could say that in a Disney movie. That isn't Lady and the Tramp, obviously.
Little tramp.
And just to be a bitch, Ursula interferes with the deal she made with Ariel by interfering with it in the best way possible. She becomes a literal siren with brunette hair, not a redhead, so not my thing. See, she's a bitch that she kicks a dog. Now, what was going to happen when this plan fell through? Was she actually going to marry Prince Eric here? Was that her goal, one of her goals? Who knows? Maybe she wanted the piece of that ass. Did you know that Ariel actually has a kill count? Yeah, she kills these eels that work for Ursula. They're called Flotsam and Jetsam. They're pretty cool, actually. I like them. This is the first Disney princess to have officially killed somebody, or things, whatever they are. And Ursula calls them poopsies, which is kind of funny. Like, what the fuck, my little poopsies?
My poor little poopsies.
So Ursula thinks becoming a giantess will win her. She already won, but she's like, I'm gonna kill these two people here. She fails miserably, though. She gets impaled by a broken ship. That's kind of a creative way to die, to be honest, there, Disney. And then struck by lightning multiple times. Don't turn big in a Disney movie. That's the lesson here. Because you will die. Also, those weird little zombie things, they come back to life. Wow, you might miss that, but yeah, they come back. Also, Ariel makes the same exact pose as the statue in Denmark, and people say this. They are contemplating where does this movie take place? It takes place in Denmark, you fucking idiots. That's where it takes place. Where else would it take place? Also, it's nice of King Triton to make his daughter have a sexy dress for 5 seconds. Like, seriously, they make this a dress just for this one scene. Justice for this dress. I like when Sebastian comes out at the beginning, it plays this weird, like, kazoo thing. Like, he's so lame. I don't know why it cracks me up every time I hear it. One of the strangest things about this movie is that there are 6 sisters that Ariel has, but they are barely in the movie. It's kind of strange because they were actually kind of important in the original fairy tale. After all, they were going to help Ariel go back to the sea by making her kill the prince, which is kind of dark, but the original Mermaid is dark. But other than one incredibly short musical number and one other minor scene, they barely have any feature in this movie, which is kind of strange. Also, they're singing a song about how great their dad is. What an egotist. And when they say this, he's like, yep, that's me. I don't know why that cracked me up, too. There's also this incredibly weird scene with this staircase. It's not the scene's weird, because it's just a character going down a staircase, but the staircase looks so obviously CGI that's insane. It's only there for like 5 seconds, but it always stands out because it does not fit at all. There's a little bit of CGI in this movie, but it's not used a whole lot, and most of the time it mixes in very well, you don't even notice it. This one always stands out because it looks so bizarre how the staircase does just not fit Ariel at all. It's so funny. Also, you pause the movie at the right moment, you can see her ass. Nice. Yeah, I'm a pervert. So I talked about everything I wanted to talk about this film, really, so yeah. I do have a problem. There's this short scene where Scuttle the Seagull, who I haven't mentioned before, he's a great character, he comes in, and he's like, I like you, Ariel, and you're gonna get married. It lasts like 10 seconds, it's a fun scene. But what it really needs is a long-ass song number sung by Aquafina. Just kidding, it does not. So yes, this movie is great. I love it. I love everything about it. Except for that weird staircase, that was kind of weird. But yeah, let's go on to the ranking. I wanted to skip to the rankings, but then I remember that I do this thing where I go over the media of the films, but we haven't done that in a while because a lot of the films suck. But this one's good, so we have a lot of media to cover. Seeing as how popular Little Mermaid was, not surprising there's tons of media related to it, including a direct-to-video sequel, which isn't that good. Maybe I'll talk about one of these days. It's just a repeat of the first movie, but in reverse. Ooh, creative. Nah. There's also a prequel movie, that's the third one, I guess. It's okay, but it's technically the last one they ever made of direct-to-video sequels. What a shame. If you actually want more from the Little Mermaid movie, I recommend the TV series from the early 90s, which continues the adventures of Ariel before the first movie happens. It's neat. It's alright. I had to point this out, but there's a character in the actual show called Hans Christian Andersen, not even joking, who goes underwater to see if mermaids exist, and then he writes a book called The Little Mermaid. Ha ha ha, and then he says to go to your library and read them now! Which I actually recommend you doing right now, but it's so funny that they even put that in. I guess he's like, oh, he sees Ariel, it's like, I'm gonna write a story about you dying and turning to sea foam. Is that what they're implying? Also, this proves that this takes place in Denmark, so all you people say, oh, yeah, they are speaking Greek. No, it's in Denmark, you dumbasses! And like everything else, there was a terrible, terrible remake that I unfortunately saw because my fiance went to see it to see how bad it was, and we both rated it a 1. Much like all the other Disney remakes, it's ugly, dumb, and this time it tries to use race baiting to get out criticism. Just because you change the character's race doesn't mean you're going to get away from criticism, because it sucks, alright? It would stink even if it had a white or Little Mermaid. The actual worst casting in this movie is fucking Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Are you fucking kidding me? That talentless hack's gonna be Ursula? Get the fuck out of here. Pat Carroll is rolling in her grave. For some reason they made a baby show based off this remake. No one likes the remakes. Don't make merchandise off of them. Fuck me. This shouldn't really count, but Disney did this live thing with Little Mermaid but it's official, I guess. There's a Broadway version of Little Mermaid. This is essentially it, but they have Moana in the main star role, which, that's not bad casting. Little Mermaid isn't technically the first one to be adapted into Broadway, but I should mention this, is that there's been tons of Disney shows being translated over to the stage, successfully done with Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and so on and so forth. A lot of the Renaissance ones get adapted to Broadway, and they're pretty successful and last for a very long time. The Lion King is still going strong, since for 30 years at this point. I actually really like the Broadway version of Little Mermaid. It's pretty nice, other than the ending kinda sucks. Like, randomly in this musical version, there's a MacGuffin shell that has all Ursula's powers. And Ariel just breaks it, because of course she does. But Ursula's like, come work with me. She's like, no, you dumb bitch, I'm breaking this. It's kind of beat, but it's not as bad as Aladdin's finale. It's kind of hard to translate those movie finales over to Broadway, so they had to simplify them sometimes, unfortunately. The Broadway show also introduces the fact that Ursula and King Triton are actually brother and sister, which is a cut part of the movie, and it was also included in the terrible remake. Though I recommend a live-action version of Little Mermaid, I recommend the Broadway version way over the movie. There's this weird special in the 90s called Sebastian's Jamboree, Caribbean Jamboree, something like that, where the actor who plays Sebastian, Samuel E. Wright, is just talking to himself as a crab, but they didn't want to animate him, so they're like, oh, let's make him live action, I guess. So the rest of the thing is just in the Disney parks, I guess, where you're just singing songs with little kids dancing or whatever the hell this is. It's one of those weird 90s VHS things you'll find at a thrift store and just pick it up and see what's on it, and it turns out it's fucking weird as shit. You know that Samuel E. Wright was actually played Mufasa in the stage version of Lion King? That's pretty cool. R.I.P., by the way. He passed away. I forget when, but R.I.P. So, video game time. There's actually quite a few of these, including The Little Mermaid on NES, which is our oldest video game here. And it's pretty good. It's made by Capcom, and I actually own this cartridge, so I'm actually proud to own it, because it's pretty fun. It actually has a pretty funny story. So in this version, Ursula doesn't take Ariel's voice away, and basically the reason why she sends her away is because I guess Ariel's strong as shit, apparently, and she takes over the sea when she's gone. Since Ariel apparently is incredibly strong, Ursula takes over the sea when she's a human. So Ariel ditches Eric, he's like, oh fuck, I'm cooked! And has to save the whole entire ocean. The main gimmick of this game is picking up shells and using your tail to shoot bubbles at stuff and throwing the enemies that are inside bubbles. So you gotta use them wisely. But the cool thing about this is that it's not really platforming since you're always swimming around. So it's a very interesting game, and it's very well made because Capcom knew how to make licensed Disney games. That's all I can say. It works out pretty well, and it's quite a fun time. Not the best one on NES, but definitely if you're a Little Mermaid fan or want an interesting style of side-scroller from the NES days, I would highly recommend this one. Oh, and those of you who are mad that Eric killed Ursula and not Ariel, even though she didn't need to, well, she kills Ursula in this version of events, as well as the Kingdom Hearts event, actually. There's also a game on the Sega Genesis that's called Ariel, the Little Mermaid. This game is incredibly short, and it looks like it follows mostly Echo the Dolphin, minus the air meter, which is a good thing. It only takes 20 minutes to get the final boss Ursula here, which you just spam magic, whatever it is, at her until she dissolves into black ink, so Ursula is killed by Ariel once again. You also get this lovely screen of this rainbow. It looks so tacky. That's the whole thing you get with being this game. Isn't that lovely? The next game is on PC called Ariel Studio Story, something like that. It's basically just an animated storybook, I guess one of the earlier ones. So yeah, I like these storybooks, so of course this one looks interesting to me. I haven't played it though. I didn't know it existed until now. Hey, you want to play pinball? Because there's a game of that too. Yeah, Little Mermaid 2 Pinball, based off the movie Little Mermaid 2. That's kind of weird. On the Game Boy Color is a pinball game. And like Pokemon Pinball, it actually has a rumble part of it. So the game has like a rumble feature, meaning that it doesn't fit on my traditional cassette cases I have, so it just stays out all the time. It's kind of annoying. Also, what the hell is with Flounder's mouth there? It doesn't look right. Anyway, there's two boards. One based off the first Little Mermaid movie, and the second board based off the Little Mermaid 2. Here's a Little Mermaid 2 board, but that one's worse movie, so why would you want to play it based off that? And there's another one on the Game Boy Color called Magic in Two Kingdoms. The graphics look like absolute ass. And the game is just a collection of different mini games that are based on certain scenes in the movie. Like one scene, you're escaping from the evil French chef as Sebastian, or playing as Prince Eric shooting cannonballs at Ursula's tentacles here, because he's like tentacle hentai. And it ends with compressed stills from the movie. You gotta love it. And lastly, there's a janky DS game where you do something. Does this look like it was polished? No, it does not. Let's talk about the Disney parks. Little Mermaid has a whole section in Tokyo Disneyland Sea called Mermaid Lagoon, which has a bunch of Little Mermaid related stuff. At multiple Disney parks, you have a thing called Ariel's Grotto, named after the location of the same thing, which is where you get to meet Ariel for all the little girlies there, and grown-ass men, maybe. There's also this Blowfish Blow Race, I guess, which is a little basic kids ride at the Tokyo Disneyland Sea. Nothing interesting to see here. Also at Tokyo Disneyland Sea is Flounder's Flying Fish Coaster, which allows you to go swim like Flounder, even though he's a fat piece of shit. He gets fatter in the sequel, too, which is a really, really funny thing. Another cool ride at Tokyo Disney Sea is Jumpin' Jellyfish, which is a little relaxing-looking ride where jellyfish go up and down. This one's also at California Adventure, but it's outside, but it looks way cooler at Tokyo Disneyland. Going back to California Adventure here, we got King Triton's Carousel of the Sea, where instead of riding horses, we're riding fish. And King Triton apparently owns this attraction. Neat. Also in Tokyo Disneyland, not Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, they have a little theater here where they play Little Mermaid shows, which look pretty impressive. Japan just knows how to do their theme parks, that's all I can say. If you're a Little Mermaid fan, you must go to Disney Sea because they have a lot of attractions here, including a playground area for little kids. The theming of this area looks immaculate. I would love to go here. Little Mermaid gets a section inside of Mickey's PhilharMagic, which is pretty neat, where Donald Duck simps over Ariel. I can't blame him. But we got another Tokyo Disney Sea ride to cover. This is Scuttle's Shooters, where Scuttles is looking at people and snails going up and down. It's a basic carnival ride with a nice theming, basically. There's another ride at Disney Sea, the Whirlpool, another basic carnival ride, but, you know, Little Mermaidified, or Under the Sea vibed, or whatever you want to call it. And if you want to eat under the sea, go to Ariel's Grotto in California Disney Adventure, because, yeah, they have character theming. It looks neat. I would like to eat there. I want to eat some flounder. And the main attraction is Ariel's Undersea Adventure, found at Magic Kingdom in California Adventure. The Magic Kingdom one replaced the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride because of malfunctions, but yeah, I don't really care that much. Because I like this ride. It's a basic dark ride going for scenes in the movie, but yeah, my fiance loved this ride. She cried multiple times because she loved this movie. And she didn't go to Disney World until I took her. And yep, that's a happy memory I have. Especially this guy playing with the clams. Oh yeah. That was a lot of rides and a lot of stuff. Now we can finally go into the rankings. Look at that. We have an S tier film finally. Let's give a round of applause for Little Mermaid for being in the S tier. It might have a couple friends there coming soon, but we will see. I don't really have to explain why it's an S tier because this whole video should be why. What's this? This is something new? I'm doing a princess rank. These are just the ones that I haven't done yet before that were on the Disney Wiki. These are princesses that were on movies I've seen. If they count it, then I count them. Alright, some of them may seem a little weird. Other characters, like, oh, this one's in there. It's like unofficial ones like Tinkerbell and Wendy. They're not technically princesses, so I didn't put them. They didn't count. I was tempted to do something like Alice and that, but they're not princesses. These characters are. So I'm going to go over them quickly right now. F tier is Ellery, whatever hell her name is for Black Cauldron. She sucks. She barely even counts. Then Tiger Lily, for obvious reasons. Watch Peter Pan review if you don't know why. In D tier, we got the two deers, because they technically count. They aren't interesting enough, so screw Baby's mom and Bambi's mate. The Daughters of Triton, barely in the movie, but hey, they sing. C, we got Aurora. Obvious reasons. She sleeps. Boring. B tier, we got Snow White. I like Snow White, but she's kind of blah. You know, she works, but nothing more interesting. In A tier, we got Cinderella and Maid Marian. I like them a lot, but they're not S tier material. They're nice, you know, one's furry bait, and I appreciate that. The other one works pretty well, but nothing more spectacular than past A tier. In S tier, we got Ariel. I don't have to explain why. Ariel is the whole package for me. She lives underwater, she collects stuff, she's got red hair, she has a beautiful, beautiful voice. I won't do that again, I'm sorry. And she's hot as hell, so what else am I supposed to say? And, much like Ariel, the top of our villains list is also from The Little Mermaid. Ursula. The Little Mermaid's great. I don't even know explain why Ursula's at the top. It's Ursula. She'll throw a tongue into your stew, and she'll call you a tramp. What more do you want? Alright, time for the songs. There are around 10 songs in here, and a lot of them are ranked high. The lowest are in D tier, because, well, they're not really that much of a song. But anyway, Fountains Below, it's the opening song. It's atmospheric, but despite that, it has nothing else going on for it. Following that, we have Le Poisson. I did not do that very well. It's a joke song, and it's not... It's fun, but it's not like a song you're on a list to repeat and repeat and repeat, because, you know, it's not good. C tier, Daughters of Train. I think it's entertaining, that's why it's C tier. It's nothing great, but, you know, I put it there. And B tier, yeah, we're going to B tier, is Poor Unfortunate Souls Reprise. It's not really a reprise of Poor Unfortunate Souls, but it is fun. It's a very short song, but it's the one where Ursula sings when she's Vanessa. That's her alter ego, by the way, Vanessa. Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I like it. It's nice, and it's fun to see Ariel's voice actress, Jodie Benson, sing like she's Ursula, which is hilarious, because it technically is her voice, so it makes sense. Anyway, the rest of the songs are in A tier. Wait, there's a lot of songs. Wait, they're all at the top of S tier. I cannot believe this happened, but yeah, after S tier being pretty much empty for a very long time, then just having Cinderella, and then 3 other songs come in more recently, we now have 5 songs in top of S tier. Yes, and I'm not joking. These songs are amazing. In fact, they're probably going to stay up that high as we go on in the future list, because I think Little Mermaid has one of the best soundtracks of any Disney movie, and maybe we'll see if that changes. So let's look at the bottom. Kiss the Girl. This is a song they changed for some reason in the remake because it was sexist somehow, even though she wants to kiss him. So it's not okay to say, go on and give the girl a kiss, even though she obviously wants to kiss him, but let's see how stupid it is when you overthink stuff like that. It's dumb. Fuck them. But yeah, it also has those lovely fish that go, wow, wow, that I like to do every time the song plays, because my fiance thinks it's funny. Anyway, then we got Poor Unfortunate Souls. The reason I like this because they're in pain. They're in need. There's one longing to get thin, and this one wants to get the girl. And does she help them? Yes, indeed. I like the fact that the girl wants to get skinny, but the guy still wants her anyway. You know, that's lovely. It's a love story. No, it's great. I love how it starts off slow and melodic, and then goes fast and rampant, and then it has that nice part at the end where she's like singing her voice away, and that's just hypnotic. Let's just say that. Then we have Under the Sea, which won an Oscar, and you know it makes sense, but it's not the best song in the movie, but it is great. And who wouldn't want to be under the sea when the blowfish blows? I like that. I don't know why the blackfish is singing. That's kind of a weird lyric, but whatever. Then we got Part of Your World and Part of Your World Reprise, which I have at the top of the list. Yeah, I had the reprise higher because that part on the boulder is so good. I listened to just that part at least like 20 times in a row. It's so great. The way she sings it, it's so good. Part of Your World I can actually talk about a little bit here since I didn't talk about this. But yeah, it was going to be cut from the movie. Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's an asshole, I said he'll come back. He wanted the song cut from the movie because it was boring to the kids. Quippy. But they're like, no, they can't cut this song. The song's important. It's I Want song. You can't get rid of it. It would make a character work less. Oh, well, we'll see. And of course, it ended up being an iconic song. So he was fucking wrong, like always. Fuck you, Katzenberg. You stupid piece of shit trying to get rid of animators for AI. That's a dick move. But yeah, it's great for that. We also had the voice actress for Ariel, Jodie Benson, sing the song in the dark to get into the mood, which you can definitely feel that. It's so great. I'm glad she doesn't over-sing it. She sings it perfectly. In the remake, the girl goes, "Woo, woo, woo, woo." She technically can sing, but she's over-singing, and when you over-sing, it just sounds like fucking shit. You can actually fit the tone, dumbass. Anyway, who knows if that was the actual singer there, or the dumb studio just making dumb decisions like always. Anyway, Disney, what are you doing nowadays? Seriously, just make good films, alright? And yeah, that's all I gotta say about the song list. Thank you for watching. And highly recommend listening to Part of Your World Reprise, just the part on the boulder, over and over again. You'll see what I mean, why it's so high. And yeah, what would I give to live where you are? What would I do to stay here beside you? What would I give to see you smiling at me? I just said that because at this point, I think many people are going to be at this point, so I want to know if you heard me talk part of Your World. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but I know something's starting right now. Watching, you'll see. One day I'll be doing the next Disney review. Haha, I tricked you. Next time, we're going to look at The Rescuers Down Under, which is the weirdest movie in the Disney Renaissance. But yeah, I'll see you then.